If you've ever had a baby in the house, you know that sound. The monitor hum, that low, constant static that sits in the background of every night for the first months of a child's life. You sleep with one ear open. You wake at the smallest sound, a cough, a whimper, a shift in the breathing pattern. New parents develop a kind of sonar for it. They become attuned to every sound that monitor makes, because that monitor is the connection between them and the most important thing in their world. On the night of March 3rd, 2019, in a house in the Selwood neighborhood of Portland, Oregon, a baby monitor picked up a sound at 3:03 in the morning. Not the baby. A whisper, low, close to the microphone. From inside the room, the parents were asleep. They did not hear it in real time. They discovered it the next morning when the mother reviewed the overnight audio the way she did every morning, checking for anything she might have missed while she slept. She heard it once. She played it again. Then she called her husband in from the kitchen. They listened together. Neither of them spoke for a long time. What the monitor recorded that night has been reviewed by 2 independent audio engineers. Both found the same thing: a whisper, origin unconfirmed, inside the baby's room, and a second voice responding to it before the child disappeared. What happened in that house has no confirmed explanation. Let's establish what is confirmed, what is documented, what is not in dispute. Selwood, a residential neighborhood in southeast Portland. Tree-lined streets, old craftsman houses, a neighborhood where people know their neighbors, where strollers and dog walkers are the dominant traffic on weekday mornings, the kind of place people move to specifically because they are starting a family. We will refer to the parents as Nora and James, names used at the request of their family's representative, who provided access to documentation for this account. Their child, a daughter, was 3 weeks and 2 days old on the night of March 3rd, 2019. Her name will not be used. Nora and James had moved into the house 14 months before the birth. A 2-story craftsman built in 1924. 3 bedrooms. The nursery was the smallest of the 3, a room at the end of the upstairs hallway approximately 10 feet by 11 feet, with a single window facing the backyard. The monitor system they used was a consumer audio-video unit, a common model sold in most major retail stores. Microphone sensitivity set to high, the standard setting for a newborn whose sounds are still soft and irregular. Cloud backup enabled. Every sound above the ambient threshold recorded and time-stamped. Nora's routine was consistent. Every morning before the baby woke for the day, she would review the overnight audio log on her phone. Not because anything had ever been wrong, because she was a new mother, because she needed to know. On the morning of March 4th, she opened the app. She began with the earliest timestamp. For the first several hours, the recording was exactly what it should be. Soft breathing. One brief cry at 1:14 a.m. Resolved within 40 seconds. The baby self-settling. Ambient room sound. The hum of the monitor's own circuitry, normal. Then, at 3:03:22 a.m., the recording shows a sudden increase in amplitude. Not the baby's breathing pattern, visible in the waveform as a low, regular oscillation, does not change at this moment. Whatever produced the amplitude spike was not the baby. It was something else in the room, close to the microphone. Nora described hearing it for the first time this way in a formal account given to a Portland Police Bureau detective 6 days after the incident. It sounded like someone leaning close to the monitor, the way a voice sounds when it's right next to a microphone, close and soft. I couldn't make out words at first. I played it 3 times before I could hear it clearly, and then I wished I hadn't. She was asked what she heard. Her response, on record, it sounded like someone saying, "She's ready." We want to be precise here. The audio was reviewed by 2 independent engineers, both given the file without context. Engineer 1's assessment of the 3:03 a.m. event. There is a clear vocal event at this timestamp, sub-conversational register, proximity to the microphone suggests the source was within 2 to 3 feet of the recording unit. The content is ambiguous at standard playback. Isolated and amplified, there is a pattern consistent with a 2-syllable utterance followed by a 1-syllable word. I cannot confirm the specific words. What I can confirm is that this is a human vocal event. It is not the infant. It is not audio artifact. Engineer 2's assessment. Vocal origin confirmed. Proximity, close, within the room. The recording quality at this timestamp is inconsistent with an external source. Bleeding through the monitor's receiver, this sound was produced inside the room where the monitor's microphone was located. Inside the room. The baby's room. At 3:03 in the morning, with the door closed and both parents asleep down the hall. Now, the second voice. This is the detail that both engineers flagged independently, and it is the detail that the Portland Police Bureau has not been able to explain. At 3:03:51 a.m., 29 seconds after the first vocal event, the waveform shows a second amplitude spike. Smaller, different tonal signature. Engineer 1. The second event is also vocal, but the register is different, lower. Further from the microphone, estimated 4 to 5 feet, consistent with the far side of the room from where the monitor was positioned. The source and the first voice are not the same person. These are 2 separate individuals in that room. Engineer 2. Second vocal event confirmed. Source position, distal from the microphone. Tonal profile inconsistent with the first event. 2 distinct vocal sources, neither is the infant. 2 voices in a room that contained 1 sleeping 3-week-old child, with a door that had been closed by Nora herself when she went to bed. When Nora finished listening to the recording, she walked down the hall to the nursery. The door was closed, exactly as she had left it the night before. She opened it. The room was quiet. The crib was in the center of the far wall. She crossed the room. She looked into the crib. Her daughter was not there. Let's be precise about what that means, because the word disappeared carries implications that the documented facts do not fully support, and in a case like this, precision matters. The child was not in the crib. She was found 47 minutes later by James in the downstairs hallway, asleep on the floor, at the base of the front door, unharmed. A 3-week-old infant cannot roll over unassisted, cannot crawl, cannot walk. He cannot navigate a staircase. The child was physically incapable, by every measure of documented infant development, of moving from an upstairs crib to the base of a downstairs front door under her own power. James's statement to Portland PD: she was on the floor, just on the floor, asleep, like someone had put her there. I don't understand how she got there. I cannot explain how she got there. The child was examined by a pediatrician within 2 hours. No injuries, no signs of distress, no abnormalities in any assessment. She was physically unharmed. Portland Police Bureau responded that morning. The house was examined. All entry points, ground floor doors, windows, basement access, were found locked from the inside. No evidence of forced entry. No evidence of unauthorized access to any point in the home. The nursery window, the single window in the baby's room, was locked. Second floor. No structure beneath it that would support external access. The staircase, the only path from the second floor to the ground floor, was carpeted. Officers found no footprints or impressions on the carpet that were inconsistent with the home's known occupants. The detective assigned to the case noted in his report, no physical evidence supports the presence of an unauthorized individual within the residence at any point during the relevant time window. However, audio evidence reviewed by the reporting officers is inconsistent with the confirmed occupants of the home and has not been explained by ambient or electronic source. Audio evidence inconsistent with confirmed occupants, not explained. 3 accounts are relevant to this case. We present each one without interpretation. The first comes from a neighbor directly adjacent to Nora and James's house, a woman in her 60s who had lived there for 22 years. She stated, "I don't sleep well. I'm up most nights by 2 or 3. I sit in my kitchen with the light off because the light wakes me up more." That night, the night they're talking about, I was up, I was in my kitchen, and I saw a light in their upstairs window. The small window at the end of the hall, the nursery, a soft light, moving, like someone holding something, a phone maybe, or a candle. I watched it for maybe a minute. Then it went out. I didn't think much of it. New parents are up all hours. I didn't know it meant something until the police came the next week. She was asked if she saw anyone enter or leave the house. "No, I saw the light, that's all. Just a moving light in a room that was supposed to be dark." The second account comes from Nora herself. Not her formal police statement, but a written account she provided to a family therapist 6 weeks after the incident, which was later shared with the private investigator retained by the family. In it, she wrote, "I've been trying to remember if there was anything before that night, anything I dismissed. And there was one thing. About a week before it happened, I put her down for a nap in the afternoon. I sat in the chair in the corner of the nursery, and I fell asleep. When I woke up, the chair had moved. Oh, I was still in it, but the chair was facing the wall, not the crib, not the window, the wall. I told myself I'd moved it in my sleep, that I'd shifted and dragged it without noticing. But the legs of the chair leave marks on the hardwood floor, and the marks showed the chair had turned, all 4 legs, in a full rotation, while I was sitting in it. The third account is the most difficult to present within the framework of documented evidence because it has not been independently verified. It comes from a woman who contacted the family's attorney after a brief account of the case appeared in a local alternative publication. She claimed to have lived in the same house 17 years earlier, before Nora and James, before the previous owners, and at a time that would have placed her there in the early 2000s. She said only this, in a letter that was passed to the private investigator: "There are things in that house that were there before you, and they will be there after. They are not interested in you. They are interested in the child. They are always interested in the child. I had one too. I left. I did not come back. I will not say more than that." She did not provide her name. The letter was postmarked from a city in northern Oregon. It was not traced. Let's go through what the evidence establishes and where it ends. The audio recording is not in dispute. Two independent engineers, working separately, without knowledge of each other's findings, identified two distinct human vocal sources inside the nursery at 3:03 a.m. Neither source is the infant. Neither source has been identified. Neither source has been explained by any electronic, ambient, or building-level audio phenomenon that has been tested. The child's location in the morning is not in dispute. She was in the upstairs crib when Nora and James went to sleep. She was on the downstairs floor when James came down in the morning. She is physically incapable of having moved herself. No other person has been confirmed inside the house. No entry point was breached. Yet the mechanics of how she moved from one location to the other have no confirmed explanation. Nora's account of the rotated chair, 1 week before the incident, is unverified. But the floor markings she described were documented by the private investigator during a site visit. He noted circular abrasion marks on the nursery hardwood floor consistent with the rotation of a four-legged chair, approximately 90 to 180 degrees. The marks are aged, not recent. They are consistent with the time frame described. The chair had turned. Something had turned it. The neighbor's account of a moving light in the nursery window on the night of the incident is documented in her police statement. The nursery window has no exterior structure accessible from outside. Yet the light she saw was not James or Nora. Both confirmed asleep in their bedroom at the other end of the hall. What produced the moving light in a room that contained only a sleeping infant has not been identified. At 3:03 a.m. Two voices in a room with one sleeping infant, one voice close to the microphone, one voice from the far side of the room. Neither identified, neither explained. 29 seconds of audio that should not exist. And then, a child on a different floor of the house by morning, unharmed, asleep, as if someone had placed her there carefully, at the front door, facing out. Nora and James moved out of the house in May 2019, 10 weeks after the incident. They did not list a reason with their landlord beyond change in circumstances. Yeah, their daughter is now 6 years old. She is, by all accounts, healthy and developing normally. She has no memory of the house, or says she doesn't. The house was re-rented 3 months after they left. The new tenants, a young couple, no children, vacated after 4 months. No reason given. The house has had 3 separate tenancies since Nora and James, none lasting more than 5 months. The current status of the property is vacant. The audio file is preserved. The waveform exists. The two spikes at 3:03 a.m. are there. They have not been explained. And the thing that was said in a room where only a sleeping infant should have been at 3:03 in the morning has not been identified. The baby monitor is a device built entirely around one idea: that you will always know what is happening in that room. That nothing will happen in there that you don't hear. That the connection between you and your child, thin as a radio signal, is enough. For most families, it is enough. For most nights, nothing happens. But whatever spoke in that room at 3:03 a.m. did not care about the monitor. It spoke anyway, quietly, carefully, as if it had done this before, as if it knew what it was there for. The timestamps continue to accumulate. 2:47 a.m., Millard Creek Road. 3:17 a.m., Holman Street. 2:11 a.m., Westerville, Ohio. 3:03 a.m., Portland, Oregon. Always between 2 and 5 in the morning. Always in ordinary homes. It's always in rooms where someone was asleep. We are not drawing a conclusion. We are noting the pattern. Because by now, you've noticed it too. Next time on This Happened Here, a man left for work on a Tuesday morning in November. His wife watched him back out of the driveway. She went back inside. That evening, his car pulled back into the driveway. The engine shut off. The lights went out, and the doors never opened. His wife waited 20 minutes. Then she went outside. The car was locked from the inside. The windows were up, and her husband was gone. His phone was on the seat. His work bag was on the seat. His coffee cup from that morning, still in the cup holder, still warm. Episode 6, The Car That Arrived Home Without the Driver. This happened here.